Welcome, Soul Tribe, to our latest Pick a Card reading. This is officially a pick a card and not a pick a pile because I was instructed to just put 4 cards up here, and the card itself is going to be the full reading. If you are not familiar with this deck, this is the White Light Oracle deck. I haven't read the full book. I've skimmed through it a little bit, but it's so magical. I had so much fun reading the cards that I was pulled, earlier I pulled some cards for myself, and I was pulled to do a very short reading for each of us. Each card has so much to say in the book, you guys. Like, while I'm reading it, I literally can feel the white light that's coming through it. So Alana Fairchild, beautiful, beautiful deck. Wow. I mean, that's really all I can say. So I'm going to read the introduction, but if you were pulled to one card or the other right away, feel free to go to the timestamps below just to let you know, since they're all the same. This is card number 1, card number 2, card number 3, and card number 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you're already pulled to one, go straight to it. Maybe you already know the deck, or maybe, you just need the lesson really quickly, or you only have 15 minutes or whatever, head to it. For those of you who are interested to know a little bit more about the deck, I'm going to read the introduction to you. I thought it would be something really interesting for you guys, just so you can kind of get a feel for this deck. I don't want to say much more. I'm just going to jump in and read it. The White Light Oracle guides you into the luminous realm of the sacred. The sacred is your heart treasure. It is that which brings light into your life. The sacred is precious to you. It matters enough that you are willing to devote yourself to it, even when that requires courage, sacrifice, and growth. The sacred generates inner warmth. It brings you joy. The sacred is a healing mirror that shows you the truth of your experience, which can include a compassionate reflection of your own suffering. It shows you how to heal. It inspires and protects you. What is sacred for your heart is unique to you. Yet for every heart, the sacred is an experience of sublime love and deep meaning. The sacred can be denied and ignored at great personal cost to your well-being, yet it can never be lost or damaged. Without it, life becomes superficial, and we become disconnected, scattered, perhaps even depressed or driven and obsessive. Without connection to the sacred, to the heart, we live from a false self. In such a state, it is not possible to be authentic with ourselves, let alone with others. The sacred helps us remember who we are and shows us how to manifest our inner purpose. We can't know what our hearts truly want, who we are, or what we can offer to the world. We cannot live our true path and higher purpose if we don't know who we are. It would be like trying to build a house with no floor. Genuine fulfillment requires a foundation of authenticity. When you are on a track with that purpose, your life will feel sacred. The sacred is your refuge and sanctuary. It is what recharges your heart, mind, and soul at the deepest levels. It is your friend, your guide, your guardian, and your truth. The sacred is free, unconditionally generous, and giving of itself. It cannot be manipulated, commercialized, or exploited. The sacred evades all attempts at such control and grasping. It always remains pure and true and flows abundantly when we learn how to be open to it. The doorway to the sacred is found within the heart. From the heart, we connect with, nourish, and develop our soul. Your soul is your unique inner being. It is the part of you which lives many lifetimes and grows spiritually through countless experiences. Your soul may have lived on worlds other than Earth, perhaps on various stars, and certainly in the spiritual worlds between lifetimes. Yet it is meant to be here now, helping to bring light to our planet for the benefit of many in need. Your soul journey will involve personal healing. As you heal on a personal level, you will be able to help heal our world too. The soul is intelligent and knows what path you need to take in life. It is in touch with your spiritual guides and the Earth Mother, attracting spiritual light, wisdom, and practical assistance on all levels. Your soul will attract your soulmates and those souls with whom you need to work through past life karma so you can become increasingly empowered and free. Your soul communicates with you through your heart, which is the mother and queen of the soul. The heart tunes you into a higher spiritual intelligence with a far greater perspective on your life than your head. It knows what you need, when, and the best way to attract it. When we connect with spirit from the heart, we live in connection with the sacred and experience the deep beauty and spiritual mystery of life. We feel heard and held, even when things are tough. We know that somehow we are going to get through it, and even more surprisingly, we trust that something good will come of it. As we grow spiritually, the soul becomes increasingly infused with spiritual light, and the sacred spaciousness within it increases. It becomes not only a soul, but a higher self, a living sacred space within which we can receive blessings, healing, and uplifting consciousness. Our soul is an inner resting place which can eventually become a universal temple of spiritual love. Spirit becomes our best friend. It is constant, reliable, and unconditionally loving. It doesn't replace the need for human relationships, but nor can human relationships replace the need for spiritual connection. Spiritual connection enhances all relationships and promotes healing. Simply being around souls at that level of spiritual development can feel healing, restore our sense of peace, and even trigger a release of old issues, which is not comfortable at the time, but brings relief soon afterwards. When in darkness, we have a greater need of the light. When we are weary from struggle and suffering, we have more need of rest. Sometimes we may feel confused about how to respond to negativity in ourselves and in our world. The white light, accessed from our heart and soul, holds the spiritual guidance and healing we need to find our way. White light is polychromatic, meaning it holds all the color frequencies we need for healing ourselves, each other, our planet, and many precious creatures. It is divine medicine for the soul, empowering the heart and clarifying the mind. The loving divine intelligence of white light equips the soul to bring an end to negative thought and behavior. It transforms the soul so we become stronger and wiser, capable of rapturous delight and connected to our true life path. As the light fills and heals us, we are being prepared as spiritual channels. The light can then flow through us into all dimensions for the spiritual benefit of all beings. Now, you may be pulled to read every card. You know, depending on where you come from, and as a light worker, as a starseed, there is Consciousness Evolutionary Journey. She's one of my favorite readers. But anyway, she just recently released a starseed reading, really powerful one actually. And it was interesting because, it was Lyra, Pleiadians, Orion, on and on. And I was pulled to like 5 of them. I mean, it was crazy. But, for some of us, we've lived many places. We've been around for a really long time. We're a really old part of the collective. We're like original cells of one being kind of thing. I know that cells regenerate, and so do we, right? We just keep regenerating. But some of us, we don't die. We keep going. I know that's an odd analogy, but you hear what I'm saying. So each card is a representation of a sacred message that you need to hear from your higher self right now. So it may be all of them. It may just be one. So without further ado, I want to jump into these. So goodbye, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to do 1. So let me do this 2, 3, and 4. So I know I'll keep these on the side. So when we're ready. Aren't these cards beautiful? Oh, just the wolf alone. I was like, oh my gosh, I love these cards. And you see me wearing this a lot. This is my necklace, but also my pendulum. This is kyanite. But I was really drawn to actually put this here. So I thought that was interesting. So here we go. Oh, the Garuda Spurarna. Now I may not be pronouncing it correctly. Look at that image though. Wow. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that gorgeous? Pile number 1. Wow. Number 42, which is also the number 6. So let's see what this gorgeous, let's see what your message from your higher self is trying to tell you. Some of these books, it's interesting how people number them or how they put them in order in the contents or in the index. It's quite interesting. Okay, so let me see if I can find this. Here we go. Page 210, which is also the number 3. By the way, I've been getting messages that I'm going to be getting a lot of downloads soon. So hang in there. There's a lot's coming through this week. Even though these readings are timeless, today is June 29th, 2020. So, we're at that last week of eclipse season, and some planets, Venus has gone direct, but there's other planets that are still in retrograde. So, just be really gentle with yourself. I was called to say this to you, pile number 1. Just be really gentle with yourself. This is, even though it's a full moon in Capricorn, we are in Cancer season, so it's really emotional. Depending on your sign, astrologically, it's going to affect everybody differently. But this is going to be another full moon eclipse, and with all these retrogrades and eclipse, it's really forcing us to look at karma and look at past life things, and the things that you've been running away from, the things that you don't want to look at, the things that you are just like shutting and closing in that closet, and you're shoving more stuff in there and just keeping that closet, when you gotta you don't want to go in that closet because if you open it, shit's gonna fall out. It's I feel like that's how you guys are right now, but you need to go in that closet. So let's see what your higher self has to say in this message. Cultivate confidence in yourself. You have the inner spiritual power to deal wisely and effectively with any situation. Don't allow anyone to take advantage of your kind nature. Reflect upon what action feels best for you to take, and then follow through with decisiveness. Do not allow negativity to get a grip in your life. Positive energy and outcomes are indicated. Yay! Garuda is the mystical king of the birds, a mighty eagle-like divine creature celebrated in the spiritual traditions of the East. In Sanskrit, Saparna means to have powerful wings and fly well. This has spiritual significance, as Garuda can cover great distances and reach tremendous heights. Garuda's earthly counterpart, the eagle, is said to use the powerful winds of a storm to fly above it, rather than get caught within it. The eagle spirit is a wisdom teacher, one who advises how to utilize the storms of ego to fuel your capacity to rise spiritually, to face problems head on, and use them to heal and grow. Right? Like what we were just saying, to face them head on. Like you gotta open that closet. You gotta go into that space. Ego seeks higher sanctuary where negativities can be dealt with before they cause further problems. Oh, I'm hearing control issues. Another Sanskrit word, according to Garuda, is Vishari, which essentially means conqueror of poisons. Garuda Saparna augurs a time when you will need to rise above the pettiness of ego and ensure you nip negativities in the bud, lest they become powerful enough to cause havoc in your heart. You don't need to become ensnared within the drama of ego. Garuda fights on the side of light and is a bringer of powerful protection and hope, and is a symbol of rebirth. He is a capable warrior. His dark side can be seen in that he is merciless. In Buddhism, he is known as the dignity of wisdom. Sometimes our compassion can outweigh our wisdom. Our empathy allows troublesome behaviors or circumstances to fester and develop into far greater problems later on. If we had listened to our wisdom, we would have cut them off at the root. But, while it can be harder to do so later, it is not impossible, and it is Garuda who teaches us to be unyielding when that is what wisdom calls for. Ego socializes within its own kind. Therefore, an aspect of its medicine is to seek those who resonate at a similar spiritual frequency and are committed to a higher path. Such kindred spirits will not necessarily have the same belief systems. They may seem quite different to you in many ways. Yet, if someone has a commitment to honoring the hearts of all beings, they are likely to be good company for your soul. Garuda Eagle Medicine empowers us to discern the real quality of our relationships. The company you keep can have a profound effect can have a profound effect. You have the spiritual right and responsibility to choose which company you keep. You don't need to judge, for everyone is taking their own journey and working to heal their karma, but you do need to discern. Garuda has the mystical power to grow or shrink depending on what is needed to accomplish his heroic tasks. By becoming large enough to block the sun and cause thunderstorms just by flapping his wings, to becoming small enough to hide in a crevice to craftily avoid capture, Garuda teaches us when to step up and shine bright and bold, and when to fly under the proverbial radar. The Oracle of Garuda Saparna is a talisman of divine protection and soul-smart strategy. Garuda is a wild spirit, free and instinctive. His is the wisdom and empowerment needed to rise above negativity, not from avoidance, but from a place of wisdom and clarity. This oracle guides you to rely on your instincts and be true to your heart. In doing so, you may not always look like a perfect person from the outside, but you are proceeding in resonance with your own heart wisdom. The healing process is, it's time to imagine you are a mighty eagle. Spread your arms as though they were wings and fly around your room. And you may swoop or soar effortlessly in this act. If you can safely stand on a chair or a step, do so. Imagine, intend, sense, or feel that you are gazing down at your life from a higher perspective. What do you see? Are there issues that need to be dealt with immediately before they escalate? Do you need to make yourself unavailable to certain negativities? Do you need to withdraw and seek spiritual connection whilst a storm beneath you unfolds? Give yourself permission to see, sense, feel, and acknowledge your own wisdom. When you are ready, ground yourself safely in your nest. Place your hands in prayer at your heart and bow. You are bowing to the light, to divine wisdom, to Garuda, the eagle spirit teacher within your soul, and to the great gift of life which enables all souls to grow and evolve. You can complete your healing process by coming back to the here and now, remembering your human self and human name, and hydrating your body. Wow, isn't that beautiful? So you may want to even, get pen and paper and go back and rewind this and, write those questions down for yourself. Write the questions down and really think about the answer. And if the answer doesn't come right away, don't force it. Meditate on it. Sit in quiet, for a minute with it. Wow, that's a beautiful message. Well, my beautiful mighty eagles, I hope this helped you in your sacred soul journey right now. I'm going to be doing more readings like this. Ever since this deck came and the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, I'm just feeling, I just got the chills. I'm just feeling a really profound sense of going deeper with our healing right now. Also, I'm going to be working more with the Divine Feminine Oracle deck, and I have a Witch's Wisdom deck too that I'm going to be doing a special reading on soon, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for stopping by pile number 1, and if you'd like to book a reading with me, the information is in below. Also in my About section on my YouTube channel here, you can find my rates and all that other information there. And please like, subscribe, and comment below. It does make a difference for the channel. So thank you for supporting us. Welcome to the Panda Tribe if you're new here, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, pile number 2. Pile number 2. I'm just going to take it straight from here. So pile number 2. How pretty is this card, huh? I really hope you listen to the introduction. This may be one of the first readings where I'm going to actually really push for people. They don't have to, of course, but if they know the deck, it's different. But this deck is really special. And when I was reading the reviews on the deck, quite a few readers, like myself, said there is magic in this deck. There's something about it when I'm reading the book, blah blah blah. And I couldn't agree more. Earlier, I was reading some cards for myself, and I had such an overwhelming need to share these cards with our tribe, and to put it out into the universe. So, are you ready? Without further ado, pile number 2. Ooh, is that the Phoenix? Karma of, I don't know if it's Kutahala. Now, these are new to me, so I I apologize. If I pronounce things and mispronounce things, please feel free to say below, what it is. Wow, it looks like a phoenix rising out of the ashes. I haven't read this card yet. This is beautiful, pile number 2. Look at you. Look at you, magical beings. What number is this? 43, which is also the number 7. I was just thinking, I wonder if this is my pile, just because I've been having all these like rising phoenix out of the ashes kind of thing lately, and number 7 is my life number. So every time I see 43, it's like instantly, even when I see the number 7, it's interesting to me that when I see the number 43, I see the number 7. Even though it's 4 and 3, I always see 7 like automatically. So there must be something to that. Anyway, without further ado, again, 43, Karma of Kutahala, 214. Kutahala, get it, hala. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I had to. Not be disrespectful, but I had to do the little shout out, hala. I always love that. I always think that's cute when people say that. Okay. Your sacred soul passion is powerful enough to shift the state of your inner reality and your outer experience. So commit to what truly ignites your heart and do not be dissuaded by anything or anyone. If you are seeking to make a commitment, do so when it truly connects you to your heart. Follow your genuine, meaningful bliss. Know that no matter what appears to be, you shall prevail. You shall rise. You shall arise. Kutahala is I don't know if I'm saying it right. Kutahala? That's what I would think it would say. Is a Sanskrit term that translates as that which excites wonder. Even if it doesn't seem like it will lead us anywhere practical, following our bliss can allow for something beautiful and deeply fulfilling to unfold. We often pursue what is sensible and secure. Yet, what could be more appropriate or divinely and delightfully inappropriate than pursuing a path so intoxicating, so fascinating, so utterly mesmerizing to the spirit that no matter what challenges arise, you feel so much love and commitment and passion you shall not turn away. This is the stuff of potential greatness. We might call it being led by our hearts. Kutahala is permission to do just that. The shadow side, or unconscious pursuit of Kutahala, is seen when we chase our bliss in such a way that nothing genuine ever gets a chance to mature. We might be lured by greener grass and chase after every new possibility like a butterfly flitting from place to place. This doesn't involve the heart, but rather the restless mind, which acts from fear and avoidance rather than using passionate devotion as its foundation. I know I heard grounding when they were talking. When I was picturing the butterfly going around, I just posted something like this on my Instagram. I automatically heard like getting grounded and walking around barefoot. The commitment that emerges out of true Kutahala is not about clipping one's wings, but about growing them and learning how to fly skillfully. Without commitment, one takes a leap, tries to fly, fails, and rather than going through the process again and again until there is understanding that leads to mastery, one tries to ride a bike or surf, dance, teach, heal, or innumerable other things, never giving any a chance to settle and evolve. There is inherent wisdom in Kutahala. Let yourself be truly excited and inspired. Allow yourself to stumble, to not know, to become the holy mess that precedes sacred rebirth. Ooh, see, like the phoenix rising out of the ashes. There you go. When your attraction is deep and soulful, you will have the capacity to stay the course, even through difficulties. Don't allow the ego to tell you that the struggle must be a sign a path isn't right for you, and thus drag you away in search of a substitute paradise, right? Meaning like, if it's too easy, right? Like, you know how they say you have to work smarter, not harder? It's like, that's true, but you also, like, if you're, like, saying you want to study this, like, you want to read for people, you want to, you have to study it. Same for myself. Like, a lot of these decks that I've been using or getting, they've been almost kind of like training wheel decks. And now it's like, I feel like decks like this, like, I have to research it more. Like, I'm learning with you and I'm studying this with you. But I have to be honest with you, this deck wouldn't have been right for me probably, even in the last year, right? Because I just started using decks a little over a year ago. So, it's like we have to like take baby steps to where we are, but we have to research. We have to do the work to get to that place. We can't just be like, okay, I want to be a surgeon. I'm going to be a surgeon. Now it's like, well, you actually have to learn how to cut into a human body, right? Like you can't just like, I mean, I'm sure there's some people who are naturally just gifted, right? But you have to get through it to get to it. There are no easy way out. There are no quick fixes. Like I'm getting the energy, like some of you are you just want to like buy the easy thing, or you're like, oh, I'm going to learn Reiki online. Like, yeah, I mean, you can download Reiki without a Reiki master, like some people can just, you're a natural Reiki or whatever, but most people, especially if you're brand new to like the spiritual world, you would most likely go study with a Reiki master. You wouldn't, and also be mindful of that, because there's a lot of Reiki masters out there now, like people are like, I'm certified. And I have to do the air quotes because it's true. When I went to go to be Reiki certified, both of my shamans that I worked with were like, well, fuck, you're a natural Reiki. Like, I was like, yeah, my hands were always hot. Like, I was always naturally, like, healing people without realizing it. Or people, or like my one friend growing up, like, not only was she good at massage, but, like, she would just touch you. Like, we'd go to parties, and there'd be, like, lines of people who are like, Lisa, will you give me a head massage? Lisa, will you, like, touch me? Like, she just, like, kind of had the touch of Christ, really. Like, that kind of, like, natural healing ability. We all possess, we can all heal ourselves, but some of us are much greater healers, right? Like some of us like have a certain fire, a certain excuse me, certain joie faire, or whatever that is in French, right? I'm hearing drink some water. Okay. Drink some water. Cleanse the palate. I was also supposed to show you shungite. Get yourself some shungite. Shungite. Research it. That's your homework. I keep it in my water. Anyway, but I don't want to get too sidetracked, but do you hear what I'm saying? It's like we have to really like work at our craft. We have to work at our skill. Not everything comes easily. And truthfully, when some people are like, oh, it shouldn't have to be that hard. It's like, no, but that's what they were saying. Like, if you love it, then it's easy to master something, right? But if you're not loving it and you're doing it begrudgingly, then you're not going to want to do it and you won't do it, right? Or like myself right now, I've been struggling because I want to do multiple things right now, but I'm like, it's almost like no matter what I'm trying to do, Spirit keeps pushing me outside of my comfort zone. To work on things that I just didn't want to deal with. But sometimes we have to work through it. We have to get through it so that we can get to the next phase. It'd be nice if we could just be like, oh, I'm here and I want to go here, but instead of here, it's like we have to go here and then here and then here. And then we may stop here for a little while and then we go down here and then we're going to work here and then we come back this way, right? It's all a process until we get to, and even when we do learn something, we're still going to keep looking at it over and over and over again. You can look at an image and see, you may be fixated on something from the image, and then another time you see the image and not only do you not see the thing you saw before, but like you see something else completely different that you're like, wow, I never saw that before, right? We just talked about that in pile number 1 about getting looking at things from a different perspective, right? Like literally like getting on a chair safely, of course, and looking at like even your room from a higher perspective, right? Like what does it look like to somebody else? Okay, sorry we went on a little tangent there. Okay, I may reread stuff just to go back because I want to make sure I don't want to miss anything for you guys. Okay, so the karma of wonder is guiding us to fulfill the deepest longings of our soul and attain spiritual freedom in the process. We often think of karma as negative, but positive karma is our connection to guiding grace, the soul's delight that empowers us to live with joy and rapture. We can cultivate positive karma in the way we live our life, from the heart with forgiveness, a sense of worth, and gentleness in our hearts. This oracle guides you towards spiritual empowerment, your ability, even today, to create something positive, gracious, and loving. What ways of being and which practices would enhance your ability to be a generator of positive karma this lifetime? Small steps can lead to great accomplishments when we stick to a path. Be patient in your passion, and you shall go far. This oracle encourages you to recognize that, in its own imitable way, spirit is practical. It just tends to go via the deliriously rapturous, astonishing, and deeply healing route. Trust what you love and let your heart lead you. And I actually heard, let your heart lead you there. You and your life shall become luminous, sanctified in the grace of alchemic transformation. An unexpected and miraculous arising is at hand. Yes, you're coming out of the ashes, Phoenix. The healing process is: take a moment to connect consciously with your breath. Breathe in and out slowly and deeply, allowing the breath to naturally lengthen, and perhaps even allow for pauses on each side of the inhalation and exhalation. Place a hand on your heart and say the following aloud. Now, this may be something, too, that you might want to get pen and paper. And let me see if I can get this in here where you can get a screenshot. It's hard for me to see sometimes, if you guys can see it. Hold on. Okay. At least you'll get the gist of it. That's all that counts, really. So you can say it over. Okay. So I'll say a sentence and then I'll repeat it as if you were, right? Because it'll help you to remember it. I call upon the heart wisdom of sacred passion and higher purpose. I call upon the heart wisdom of sacred passion and higher purpose. May I be graced with the discernment to recognize what is true, valuable, authentic, and genuinely purposeful in my life. May I be graced with the discernment to recognize what is true, valuable, authentic, and genuinely purposeful in my life. May I release all else with a sense of humor and a willingness to recognize that I have learned something useful. May I release all else with a sense of humor and a willingness to recognize that I have learned something useful. I allow myself to be inspired rather than frightened by the passions of my heart. I allow myself to be inspired rather than frightened by the passions of my heart. I choose to learn from what I love and be led through what inspires and excites me. I choose to learn from what I love and be led through what inspires and excites me. I trust the passion in my heart is the same passion the universe has for me, and that the inspired, excited, curious feelings are cosmic breadcrumbs leading me along my rightful path. I trust the passion in my heart is the same passion the universe has for me, and that the inspired, excited, curious feelings are cosmic breadcrumbs leading me along my rightful path. May all my beings be guided lovingly to fulfill their highest divine destiny. May all beings be guided lovingly to fulfill their highest divine destiny. Allow yourself to see, now that's the end of that, okay, right? Now, allow yourself to see, sense, or feel a light within your heart. It is playful, excited, and curious. When your mind or feet alight upon something relevant to your soul journey, your heart tingles with spiritual electricity. It lightens you up from within, leaving you feeling as though anything is possible and there is an endless path of creativity, beauty, sacred, and deeply healing and liberating for you to explore and share. Tune into that feeling. Know it is safe to trust it. And when you are ready, place both hands at your heart and just acknowledge your own heart as being a beautiful and sacred instrument for which you are grateful. You have completed your healing process. Aww. Yay, pile number 2. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that this message from your higher self help you feel more aligned to your path and what you need to work on right now. Please like, subscribe, comment below if this reading touched you in any way or helped you in any way. Also, if you'd like to book a one-on-one session with me or donate to this channel, all the information is below. And also my rates and more information about what I offer is in the About section. Thank you so much for stopping by. Bye, number 2. I'll see you later. Bye. Have a blessed day. Bye. Okay. I'm going to take a drink of water. Pile number 3. Oh, I just accidentally saw your card, pile 3, and I'm super excited about it. And I'm actually going to look because I want to see if I'm right. Because I haven't looked at all these cards, but I've gone through a great number of them. And this one, your card number 3, pile number 3, or card number 3, because it's not a pile really, it's just cards, is the very last card in this deck. and I'm excited to show it to you because it is Ishtar's Lion Gate 888. And we have been in all of these, the 444 portal, and so I think it's really interesting that it was the 444 portal and now it's 888, and we are in Cancer season right now, but coming up next is Leo season. So either you are a Leo yourself, or this message, we'll see how this resonates with you, but I have a feeling that it's also to help guide you through from now until through Leo season. So here we go. Your heart has a heightened connection with the higher realms of consciousness and light. A blessing, empowerment, and positive omens shall enter your world. Doors will open for you. Abundance and prosperity are headed your way. Take care of your heart. Ask for spiritual assistance and it shall be granted. Something negative is going to transform into something very positive for you. Ishtar is the queen of the night, a dark goddess of loss and letting go, but also a priestess of light, who holds the keys to renewal from suffering. She is relentless in her pursuit of the path to true inner freedom. She willingly surrenders her attachments and her identities, even separating herself temporarily from her loved ones, with such boldness and confidence that she crosses into realms where others dare not go. She experiences vulnerability, and in that state discovers deep truth. Ishtar is the capacity of the soul to integrate our experiences. After reaching the greatest depths of suffering, she emerges and is reinstated upon her rightful throne, even with greater wisdom, spiritual power, and compassion. In a reading, she is a guardian and symbol of resurrection. You shall rise again. Those who have felt as though their identity or any other marker of security has been torn away from them are her children. They will find their way back to peace and prosperity under her auspices. If you have been suffering, this oracle indicates an end of the struggle is imminent. You shall be restored with so much more than you have lost. Yes, I'm hearing by the end of Leo season, which is like the end of August. Very exciting. I also heard right away when she said, you shall be restored with so much more than you have lost. I heard I literally heard somebody's getting their house back. I don't know what that means. And I also heard a job, like for some of you that haven't been able to, like finances, like you're going to have like a really huge turnaround and it's going to happen really, really fast. So it's super, super positive. By the time fall comes around, which is like the end of September, it's like summer, spring, like this whole year so far is going to seem like, even with the election, even with the energy that's out there, it's going to almost feel like a bad dream or something. But you're going to come back from it. And for some reason, I'm feeling like, I don't know how to explain it, or maybe it just wants to go closer. I just feel like this card like wants to be close to you. I can't explain it. It's really sweet, actually. It's like, okay, I'll put it closer, like whatever you want, It's your reading. It's your reading, tribe. Oh, I love it. It's so beautiful. It's so precious. Okay, where are we? Ishtar is depicted in the Queen of the Night relief that dates back over 4,000 years from ancient Babylon, which was located in the lands of present-day southern Iraq. She is a bird-woman priestess with talons and wings, flanked by owls and lions. She holds sacred tools, a rod, and a ring. In her hands is bejeweled and naked symbol. Wait, hold on. Let me read that properly. She is a bird-woman priestess with talons and wings, flanked by owls and lions. She holds sacred tools, a rod and a ring in her hands. In her hands is bejeweled. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm just reading this weird. Maybe I'm supposed to like slow down so you guys can get the visual properly. Because I don't know about you, but I'm getting like a serious visual of this Queen of the Night. But the way that it's worded and like they've got like these... It's it's just interesting how people here, I want to show it to you. Where is it? So you can see what I'm saying. Sometimes like it's the way somebody writes something and it's however you read it. So I'm trying my best, but okay, so she holds sacred tools, a rod and a ring in her hands, is bejeweled, and then it says is bejeweled, but I would think would say are bejeweled, is bejeweled and naked, symbolizing her power and freedom. Her symbols are the gate the 8-pointed star, and the lion. She is considered the goddess of the planet Venus, but the star Sirius is also sacred to her. So most likely you guys are Syrians. And you know what? I'm going to put it below here, but one of my favorite readers just did another starseed reading, pick a pile reading, and I really feel you're my third pile. You're the first one that I was drawn to. I spoke about it in the introduction. Her, the artist. I love that. I bet she'd love that. I bet Dee would love that I called her artist. She is, though. She is an artist. You should see her setups. They're so beautiful. But she's an artist all the way around. But anyway, she has a message from your star systems. And so I'll put the link below so you guys can go and look at it. But most likely, I bet you're going to be drawn to the Syrian reading. Because right when I saw that, I was like, oh, I meant to talk about that. So its rise each year marks her ascent from the dark realms, which ensures prosperity and good fortune for the year ahead. Her jewels and tools represent her great power and effectiveness. The stars represent her higher consciousness and loving wisdom and are a sign of great blessings for your life, indicating prosperity, peace, healing, and love. The lion's gate falls when the sun is in Leo. Leo is the sign of the lion, the astrological ruler of the heart and the animal totem sacred to Ishtar. The rising of Sirius took place on July 26th in ancient Egypt, which marked the beginning of the Egyptian New Year. Ooh, isn't that interesting that I was just talking about Leo and July 26th, that's Leo season. This is really powerful. I feel like I need to read this again. The rising of Sirius took place on 26th July in ancient Egypt, which marked the beginning of the Egyptian New Year. Also, they're having me talk about in the last pick-a-pile reading I just did that says when love goes wrong, nothing goes right. I forget which pile it is, but one of them talked about a past life in Egypt. So again, I'll put that link below as well. Clearly you guys are meant to get some downloads. This is serious download this week. Serious download season is happening right now. So it doesn't surprise me that they are wanting you to really, your higher self is really reaching out. And so are obviously your starseed lineage is reaching out. Nonetheless, hold on. In modern times and different latitudes, the date for the rising of Sirius varies considerably. Okay, well, there you go. Nonetheless, the 8th day of the 8th month is considered especially potent. So that would be August 8th, right? And when combined with the 8-pointed star of Ishtar, the numerical frequency of the spiritual portal or doorway that opens on 8 August becomes 888. Wow. Well, you know what's really powerful about that, you guys, is that this year it's 8/8/2020. So, and 2 and 2 is 4, right? And so 4 times 2 is 8. It's a derivative of 8. That's really interesting. The 888 frequency will stimulate your soul in its unique way. It facilitates a deepening intimacy between the spiritual worlds and the earth plane, an amplification of light and an outpouring of positive blessings for humanity. It is believed many, if not all, cosmic avatars who come to earth as advanced spiritual guides hail from Sirius and make their blessings increasingly available to humanity during this opening between the worlds. This oracle brings a message of a breakthrough and healing, of a significant lightening up of your life, and the end of a deeply challenging cycle in your life. There is a special divine dispensation augured by the oracle of Ishtar's Lion Gate 888. So look into the Ishtar's Lion Gate 888 too, obviously. I mean, and I would, if I were you, not tell you what to do, but if it were me, I would definitely plan something on 8/8. I'm actually kind of curious now because my calendar's right here. I want to see what day it falls on. Ooh, it's a Saturday. That's interesting. Saturday. Huh. Okay. So, it is believed many, if not all, cosmic avatars who come to Earth as advanced spiritual guides hail from Sirius and make their blessings increasingly available to humanity during this opening between the worlds. This oracle brings a message of a breakthrough and healing, of a significant lightening up of your life, and the end of a deeply challenging cycle in your life. I know I read it. They're having me read it again. There is a special divine dispensation augured by the oracle of Ishtar's Lion Gate 888, where hope has been difficult to find or all seems lost. The light shall return and beautiful blessings are destined to unfold in your life. This is your healing process, like your homework. Connect to your breath flowing in and out, helping you to come fully into this present moment. When you are ready, say the following prayer aloud. And I'll say it and then I'll give you a screenshot of it. May the enlightened heart that truly loves humanity bring forth the compassion, mercy, grace, and protection needed so all beings may gain spiritual benefit, freedom, truth, and peace. And I speak, as the ancestors speak through me, I'm going to speak this to you as a blessing to you, upon you, and from the ancestors right now. They are saying to you, may the enlightened heart that truly loves humanity bring forth the compassion, mercy, grace, and protection needed so all beings may gain spiritual benefit, freedom, truth, and peace. And so it is. So be it. Blessed be. Aho. See, sense, intend, or feel a radiant star rising above the horizon, bringing with it the beginning of a new dawn. It is a white, powerful sun, emanating rainbow-colored rays of hope, wisdom, peace, abundance, and love. You become aware of a second brilliant white sun, our sun, following its rise above the horizon. Two massive, radiant, white spiritual suns emanate all colors and blessings on their rays. Both are visible on the horizon. There is a sense that something very special is happening. An unusually powerful and unconditionally positive portal of healing is opening up for all hearts. Let yourself rest in the dual lights of these suns as they soak into your soul. You can imagine you carry the light of these two suns in your heart always, and that through your heart and all willing and capable hearts, the lights of these suns shine continuously on the inner dimensions for the spiritual benefit of all beings. You may like to rest a hand on your heart to ground this acknowledgement, capacity, and vision. Bring yourself back to the here and now with some physical movement and plenty of hydration. You have completed your healing process. So there's the prayer up here. I don't know if this... It's because the screen's at a weird angle. I hope that helps. I can always send a screenshot to you too if you need it. Wow. So those are your messages, beautiful Ishtars, Lion Gate 888. Thank you so much for stopping by, you guys. And please, when you get a chance, subscribe, like, comment. All that stuff really does help with the algorithms of the channel. The more people we bring to the Panda Tribe, the more we elevate the vibration. Ooh, it's getting late. The vibrational energy of the universe. Thank you, Lightworkers. Thank you for being here. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, or if you'd like to donate to the channel, all the information is below. And also, there's more information in my About section. Thanks for stopping by. Have a blessed day. I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, pile number 4, pile number 4. Ooh, I'm excited for this one. I don't think I've seen this one yet. Oh, I moved that for the other group. Let's see what your group wants. I'm feeling like this is good. Okay. Oh, okay. More like this. You like that? Okay. Hi, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you watched the introduction. You know, this is such a beautiful, magnificent deck. I feel like it really makes a difference just to go back and spend those extra minutes to watch the introduction, just so you can know a little bit about how this Oracle deck came to being. If you've been here before, excuse me, if you own the deck or you know of the deck, then, you know, welcome. You already know about it. And so, let's jump into the messages from your spirit guides right now, what they want to say to you. Look at that gorgeous card. Number 1, magnetism of Eros. Oh, isn't Eros the, like Cupid? The god of love? I haven't read this card yet. The imagery on this is so beautiful. It actually reminds me of Jeremy Pelletier's sculptures. A friend of mine's, well, I don't know if they're together or not, but anyway. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk out of school, but anyway, amazing artist, sculptor, totally reminds me of this right now. So let us read your messages. Even though it's number 1, this book has such a beautiful introduction that the very first card is on page 46. It's a great book, though. Boy, some of these, I'm going to be doing a lot more readings, you guys, with these. I've been getting really deep on some of these decks. We're just going through so much stuff energetically, right? Okay, magnetism of Eros. Trust in what your heart yearns for without concern about how it will manifest. Take steps towards that which moves your heart. Reach out for what your soul wants and needs. Allow yourself to be vulnerable, for only then can you be truly held. That which appears out of reach or unavailable to you is closer than you realize. The magnetism of Eros is our soul's fascination with that which appears different and calls to us at a deep level. This soul-deep attraction inspires us to remain open, be passionate, and willing to engage with life, other people, and new vitalizing pathways and practices that inspire us. It keeps us moving on our authentic life path, living by the call of the heart. This oracle indicates that your heart is being called to a particular path or way in life. It may not make logical sense, but to honor the call of the heart is to honor the needs of the soul. The call of the heart can lead you into unknown and intriguing territory. It can feel liberating, but also unsettling as you let go of known worlds and reach for the unfamiliar. Following such a path will bring a fresh influx of energy and expand your understanding of yourself, your life path, and your higher purpose. It is meant to be. Eros is a Greek word for love. Yes, yay, I was right. I actually saw the Eros, and I think I'm saying it right, and Cupid, I think it is, or Eros, and I think Cupid's technical name. When I was in Paris and I went to the Louvre, I saw the real sculpture. Oh my gosh, I cried so much when I was in Paris, or well, that of course, but when I was in the Louvre, just looking at these things were like, you're like, wow, like, you've only heard stories about them, or you've only, so I was meant to share that story with you guys, and apparently they said it's going to come up in a minute. Okay. On a spiritual level, Eros is our passionate, open, engaged love for life. When we experience Eros, we are ready to embrace our journey. It is an affirmation of life. Its opposite is the destructive drive known as thanatos. Oh my gosh. If you watched the last pickacard reading, When Love Goes Wrong, Nothing Goes Right, I'd be curious if you watched that, because the one of the piles, I don't know which one it is now, but one of the piles actually pulled the Thanatos card. So that's really, really interesting from a completely different deck. So that's really interesting to me right now. If you've watched that other reading and you're on here, please comment below, because I would be so fascinated by that. There's so many times where I'll do certain readings or pick a pile and I'll think, I wonder if this pile chose this pile in this reading and this pile in that reading, because they're so similar. It's like the same messages but different decks, right? Or like a different perspective from different decks on the same subject. Interesting. So its opposite is the destructive drive known as thanatos, which is the drive behind our undermining, self-defeating, and self-harming behaviors. I just heard cutters. Sweet cutters. I used to cut too when I was in high school, back in the 80s. But sadly, I started doing it because it was cool, but then I started to like it because of the release. And then I worked with a young woman who was a cutter, and she always wore long sleeves. And one day it was so hot in our workspace where we were working, and she went to lift up her sleeves, and my heart just broke for her, because I just thought, oh my God, there were just so many cuts and scars and cuts upon scars. And my heart just broke open for her. There's a whole other story behind that, of something that happened at the school, but she was just a very troubled, beautiful soul, beautiful, so special, but had been abused and had a lot of horrible things happen to them. So for some of you, if you're watching this right now, you are worthy, and there is no shame in anything that we do to our human meat sack, because we are dealing with energies, karma, just so much stuff that's happening on the planet, and it's been happening on the planet for hundreds of years, but is only really, really heightened in the last 60 years. It is amped up dramatically. So, be really gentle with yourself, be easy with yourself, be forgiving of yourself. That is something that they asked me. I saw it so clearly. We may engage in such negative behaviors in a misguided attempt to heal ourselves or make ourselves feel better. When we act negatively, despite our best intentions to be positive, part of us is trying to tell a story that is yet to be fully heard. And until that story is heard, we cannot let it go. We get stuck in a negative loop. To resolve the negative Thanatos drive within us and in our world, we need Eros. We need to embrace life, including our negative experiences. By acknowledging and healing our suffering, we can find the courage and wisdom to live more fully. The challenge and gift of Eros leads us into our vulnerability. From there, we can also recognize our strength and our dignity. We become able to let go and heal. This oracle brings the message that life has particular gifts to share with you. There is the promise of deep, soulful connection with your true self and with others, and a healing realization that you are truly desired and loved. You are encouraged to explore new pathways, especially if you feel out of your depth and a bit vulnerable in doing so. More so if they involve personal healing. The oracle indicates a path is opening up for you. It may not be the easiest way forward, but when your heart leaps at the prospect of it, know something truly special is unfolding for you through that pathway. Trust where your heart is leading you. And I'm hearing very specifically, yes, like trust your heart, go with your heart, go with love. The truth is, if we always come at love, if we come at every single situation with love, we will see it from a completely different vantage point, I have been finding that this week, my faith in myself and in others has really been tested. And, I realized that in the same situation, the same type of situation, and at other times, I handled it a certain way, and the outcome was really gross and really ugly. But it was there for a teaching lesson for myself and for the parties that were involved. But even in the last few days, when I would start to get angry, or I'd start to be like, I don't want to deal with this, or why is this person or why is this happening? I just stopped and I looked at it with love. And I realized, I'm like, you know what? That's exactly how we resolve things, is with love. Because the truth is, when I started to look at it with love, like, how would I feel if this were me? How would I feel if I were on the other side of this right now? Instead, I was looking at it from selfish reasons, for ego reasons, for, which it's my muggle that wants to control, to push, to prod, to move things along, to get things to the way I want them, the way I need them, the way I need to see them. But all at the same time, negating the fact that that lesson with that person is helping me. It is guiding me. It is part of mine too, right? Because the only way to look at it would be through love, to look at it through compassion and kindness for somebody who's struggling, right? And that's just my situation. So obviously, insert your situation. So the healing process for this is, take a moment to consciously connect with your breath and ground your awareness in the present moment. Place your hands over your heart. Can you connect with what is to feel? Can you connect with what it is to feel vulnerable? To have needs? This may be easy or difficult for you to acknowledge. Whatever you experience is absolutely fine. To feel vulnerable, you need to be loved, heard, held, and seen. For example, is acceptable and essential to your human journey, right? Like, I just felt an overwhelming of emotion. We're in Cancer season right now. You can feel that. Go ahead, let it out, release that, whatever it is you need to release. I hope you do it in a healthy way that isn't hurting yourself in any way. With, right now, today is June 29th, 2020, but these readings are timeless. So for whenever you see this, it'll still resonate. But for those of you that are watching it in current time right now, we're leading up this week. Today is Monday. But this Saturday, Saturday, is going to be the full moon in Capricorn, but it's the last solar eclipse and the end of this eclipse season. But we still have planets in retrograde, which, eclipses in retrograde are about going back and looking at things again. This has been kind of like a beautiful, like, golden thread through all of the readings today, which is, the vulnerability, the culpability, the integrity. What did you say, Spirit? Oh, and basically just being like open and vulnerable to like what's happening right now, and just allowing yourself to flow, like there's something else was coming through, but there's too many messages and I don't want to get off topic. It'll come back around if it's meant to. So when they're saying like whatever you experience is absolutely fine, it's like, yes, feel vulnerable, If you need to feel love, or if you need to be loved or heard or held or seen, make sure that you do that for yourself. Like right now, like, you know, my partner and I, like, we are not in we're partners as friends, but we're not like in a sexual love relationship right now. We needed to both take a step back. He's a Gemini, I'm a Sag. Like, my moon's in Scorpio. I don't know his chart. He doesn't know exactly when he was born, but just for the two of us, like, we've been through so much, right? Because it was like full moon in Scorpio, then it was full moon in Sagittarius. It was like oh, so for me, it's like my moon's in Scorpio and I'm all triple Sag. You know, it's like with my sun, my rising, and my sign. You know, it's like that stuff is real, man. So wherever you are, like, energetically, like, allow yourself to feel that. And if you need a hug, ask for one. I said to him, I go, I know that we're like just trying to be friends right now. I'm like, but can I have a hug? I was like, I needed to feel like a human being pressed up against my body. And it wasn't sexual. It was just like, I just needed to be held for a minute. I just needed to. And he was like, sure. And so now, like, when we part ways at the end of the day, we give each other a nice, like, you know, genuine, like, love hug that's just, thank you for holding space for me right now. We all need that. It's a very vulnerable time. So lean into the Cancer energy, lean into the eclipse energy, because it's from a higher perspective. Thank you, Spirit. So the common golden thread was for all of us to start looking at all of this from a higher perspective right now. I mean, the very first card, the very first reading was all about that. So, you know, it's the same for you guys. And it's acceptable, right? And essential to our human journey. Like, we need that. We need that feeling. And we're being separated and segregated right now. So as you connect with your heart, imagine, feel, or intend that a beautiful white light is shining from afar. It loves you and is reaching out to reassure, comfort, and protect you. If you can, allow it to truly hold you. Relax into its embrace and imagine the light wrapping itself around you like a loving cloak. As you do this, you may sense your heart and mind letting go of a tension you didn't even realize you'd been holding on to. You may sense that this white light is in your heart, reaching for you always from deep within. Rest in this awareness for as long as feels best for you. You have completed your healing process. And also, you know, the old school, like, hugging yourself, you know what I mean? I know you can kind of see my body. You know, like, really hugging yourself, giving yourself a nice, big, great hug, and saying, I love you, and looking at yourself in the mirror. I don't care how cheesy it is. I don't fucking care. Like, if it works for you and you feel good right now, like, really, like, lean into that self-care, okay? Pile number 4, I'm sending you so much love and light and healing. If you're a Reiki, or even if you're not a Reiki, just call on Spirit when you're meditating and ask for the divine healing Reiki energy to surge within your body. Yes, it's nice to go to a practitioner, just like for myself, you know, it's like I do all these readings and, you know, people can donate or not donate. They are, like, for free, but also, you know, a lot of people, I'm not completely for free. It's also like advertising for myself, right? Like, I was just going to say, if you want to book a reading with me, it's like my information's below. If you want to donate to the channel, my information's below, kind of thing. But it's like, it doesn't have to be about that, right? It's like we still get things from the divine that we don't always have to pay for, right? So of course I wouldn't go to somebody and have them work on me for an hour of Reiki and not expect to give them an exchange of energy, right? So even for this, I always say to people, at least, like, give me a prayer, or, you know, light a candle for me, or say something positive, you know, for me as an exchange of energy, for doing this for the tribe. But for yourself, you know, you can call in the Reiki energy without actually, you know, hiring somebody, right? So Steve Noble is one of my favorite meditation people. I'm putting a bunch of things below, actually, because each pile I've had different things. So if you want to look in the description, I'll give you a good Steve Noble meditation. And you may or may not like him, you know, but I would look into getting, like, certain, you know, meditation practices. I like working with Steve Noble because when he does his big meditations, for sure, like, he calls in, like, you know, all the archangels of, you know, of all the planes, basically. And I can feel it. Like, I start to feel their energy. And when he's saying that, I say to Spirit, you know, I invoke the power of Reiki, even though I am a Reiki, but I still say, like, I invoke the healing energy of Reiki. And I say, thank you for healing me from the inside out and the outside in, from, you know, the top of my head down to my feet, back up to my chin. And I say, like, a cute little, like, rhyme down my arms, down to my fingers, you know, back up. And I go this whole thing. But it's like, whatever works for you. But definitely call that in to help you on this healing journey. Okay, thank you so much for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Have a blessed day. Bye, pile number 4. Bye. Oh, and I should just say, and goodbye to everybody from the reading. See you later. Bye-bye.